lawful good paladin who desperately wanted to be evil. I've sat on this story for years, after browsing this Reddit for quite a while, and would love to vent it all out. The setup. New DM, homebrews 5e campaign for all new players, 7 of us. Forbids making evil characters to start when it's not an evil campaign. Everyone agrees. Characters. Ranger, me. Bard, Sorcerer, Monk, Barbarian, Paladin, the problem, Wizard. Paladin OOG was a real douche to play any game with, TTRPG or otherwise, as he was the kind of person that singularly derived enjoyment from annoying or ruining the games for others. In TTRPGs, he self-inserted and took everything said and done, I see, personally, and would OOC act out for it. Initially, he played his paladin fine, albeit weird. He had a bad habit of approaching NPCs and giving them vague statements of warning and never explaining himself, leading to a lot of unnecessary alarm and suspicion of the party. In his backstory, he wrote, he was a centaur, that he had a son and wife that died in a forest fire, so he loathed anything and everything that had to do with fire. This is relevant later. He also stated in his backstory, without reading any of the DM's lore about centaurs in which they were peaceful and migratory, that he participated in centaur wars and had butchered babies in innocence, but was reformed now. This is also relevant because he constantly judged the party for disposing of hostile monsters and their eggs as baby killers, but would sit there and justify killing human babies for fun. As a centaur, he hated that the DM included ladders and doorways he could not fit through in her world. It would mope and become very passive-aggressive and stop participating in anything when they showed up. Even when characters would stay behind to hang out with him, by the way, he was a moose centaur, so he was unreasonably large. He constantly asked other players, despite taking the Oath of Ancients, tenets about love and happiness, yada yada, extremely inappropriate and invasive sexual questions about their partners, I see. And when they would be dodgy or not go his way, he would punish them OOC and hate them in real life. This happened with a monk, who he terrorized because he wasn't forthcoming with information. He could not accept that his character had an intelligence score of 8. It would metagame despite being told he would not know certain information. Example: there was a plague spreading that was turning people into zombies. This is a high fantasy with no modern medicine. My ranger moved to action for a dying child that was literally vomiting blood and begging to see her parents again. Held the child as she died and got covered in her blood. We don't know how diseases spread or how they work, as this world had never experienced that. He refused to go near her, told everyone not to touch her blood, and despite being corrected and told he has 8 intelligence on top of not being a healer, he insisted and refused to play it right. We caught much later that he was cheating nearly all of his rolls as well, especially when he would roll for his health upon leveling up. He claimed to have exclusively rolled 8s and above every single time for 9 levels. He never rolled in front of anyone, as we had a trust system in this group, since we'd been friends for years and years and never played together before. But now we know better. This, and him beefing himself up only and never tanking for the party, he would literally run off and only do 1v1s away from everyone using whatever dual thing paladins get. Made our encounters extremely hard. Okay, finally the meat of the story. We were in a cave down at the base of a canyon, investigating claims of a missing cleric. What we found was a succubus and her half-human child hoarding diamonds in an attempt to bring back the human parent, who is kept in a tomb nearby. Combat happens. He's thrilled that he gets charmed and starts fighting us. And we win, and start investigating the room to find out this information. One of the items we discovered was a ring, who the monk reads as being hella evil, so he leaves it alone as we plan to seal the room off with rock after we leave. Catching that we're leaving it, the paladin runs back in and snatches the ring up. When we asked why, he said he wanted to cleanse it. OOC, we knew better, but IC, we didn't. So our characters let it be. Cue the next several months of an evil entity within the ring reaching out to him and attempting to beguile him. Despite us passing through several churches after he picked it up with insanely powerful clerics, he never ever gave it up and kept his evil ring tied directly onto his holy symbol. This ring led to possessions during boss fights that made him attack us. He loved this. Fucking with the party as a whole with illusions made my ranger appear to have an incurable plague that was ravaging the land. And eventually it all came to a head when we fought a cult and he fucked us up due to possession and we nearly lost some party members. In character, we found out he'd kept the ring. It corrupted his holy symbol and it dimmed his paladin powers. We took the ring off him and yeeted it into the jungle. But by then, it was too late, as what had been inside the ring the entire time was a powerful demon lord. The shit with the ring had gotten so bad at that point that we, in character, as a party, no longer trusted him and took specific spells to fight him and kill him if he were to turn on us at any point. When this came up out of character, he insisted he'd beat us all 1v6. He was really butthurt about his paladin powers, and after that, we refused to really help us in fight. During the fight with the avatar of a god the cultists were trying to bring back, he discovered that he would have to use a turn of movement to get across the huge room to be within striking range. He hated this, and so he never moved the entire fight. It did not do a single point of damage to the creature. He very promptly looted the room, though, and claimed a staff that we tried to give to the monk, but he became extremely aggressive out of character, like yelling and cussing at everyone, so we eventually dropped it. The staff had the evil god of fire's symbol on it, and it was a staff of fire. When we asked about his backstory with his raging over fire in the beginning of the campaign, he merely shrugged and said he got over it. The DM used an NPC very shortly after that. He liked to break the staff and take it from him, as it was the only way he would accept it being taken. We were on the east coast of the continent after a while, investigating some claims about the Elven King, when this dumbass finally prays to his god and asks for help. The god tells him that he must take a candle into the darkest place, light it, and fight the demon. He is given a literal candle for this, and soon after this talk, the demon appears and goads him into lighting it. He does, immediately, thinking he's one-upping the demon or that it's a magic candle and it won't burn out. Surprise! It was a regular candle, and the place we needed to go was all the way on the western side of the map. Weeks of travel. Bless the wizard for being fire-based. This got him hated at the beginning of the campaign by the paladin, who cast endless flame on the candle to keep it from burning up. The next several months of sessions was fighting demons trying to snuff out the candle and traveling to this place. We eventually fight this demon, in which we almost horribly lose, and soon after that, the player out of character left in real life, because he moved, and that was his last session. DM, who is my partner, told me later that she had been in talks with him during this, in which he expressed that he would never choose to be evil, but would play it if it went that way, with the ring, and decided to make every single decision after that in an attempt to force the DM to make them evil. He also lamented all the time that he would have loved to play a rogue instead and steal our things and harass us, and essentially have the freedom to be more of an ass. I don't know why, but it took me, after a few times of saying OOG and IC, I finally figured out that it's out of character and in character. And it's not OOG. I don't know why I said that. But this one was a bit of a main character syndrome to me. The paladin definitely wanted to be the center of attention, and they thought being different and being evil would probably be the best way to do it. I was looking at the comments a little bit, and it seems like there was some stuff going on with Sorcerer also. I'm not sure if they have already made another post for it, but if any of you are interested, you can just go check out yourself. I'll always have the link to the Reddits I read in my info down below. But this one, like, it seems like he wasn't caring about what his character would do, but more about what he wanted to do, and that was probably to be better than them, which that's where I see main character syndrome. And just let me know if you all think the same thing, and if you don't, tell me what you think is going on, and let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.